to offer University of Cambridge, GCE, a level program for the first time outside Kathmandu in the city of Pokhara in December 2002. Sir has also been instrumental in offering university level undergraduate and graduate programs both in management and health sciences. Currently, Novel Academy also offers BSc Nursing, B Pharma, BBA, MBA, and A-level programs at Pokhara. Sir has a special interest on striving to bridge the gap between the classroom and the world of work and students. He believes in treating the students not only as book smart, but also encourages them to be competent and face the inevitable challenges that life brings intellectually. I welcome you, sir, and it's indeed an honor for us to have you as the external session chair for today's session. Also, it's been an honor to have your presence. As I told you, I express my gratitude towards you that you attended all of our sessions, took out time. And I also welcome Dr. Yasir, who's graced the occasion today. Also welcome today's internal session chair, Dr. Swati Jain. Ma'am is an associate professor in DMS Noida. Ma'am has over 18 years of experience in teaching. She is a PhD in business management, and ma'am has 40 plus papers published to her credit in various national and international journals. She has successfully organized many conferences as a convener, as an advisor as well. Also, she is the advisor for our conference as also. I would also like to welcome Professor Dr. Ravikant Swami, sir. He is Director DME for supporting us. I would like to also welcome HOD ma'am, Professor Dr. Purva Ranjan ma'am, also our senior faculty members and my dear colleagues. Also welcome our Zoom management team, Dr. Suchi and Ms. Pooja Tripathi. Welcome all the faculty members and my dear students. And I think it would be a very enriching experience for us, and we'll gain a very valuable knowledge in today's session. Mr. Acharya, I would request you to start with your master class for the day, sir.
Thank you so much, Seema ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt, sir, but I would just like to inform that the session is being recorded and we have gone live on Facebook as well.
Thank you so much. So I'd like to share my screen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Seema ma'am. A very respected convener of the conference, campus director, very respected Ravikant Swami sir, organizing committee, event speakers around the globe, researchers, academicians, and dear students, very good afternoon. Indeed, it is a great honor and privilege for me to collaborate with DMS India, and it is a matter of pride to be a speaker on this much-awaited international conference. As the world is facing unprecedented challenges to embrace technological challenges triggered by COVID-19, every organization needs to think for a new people strategy for remote working practices, challenges, opportunities, and the future trend. As rightly captured by the theme of the organizer, GSMC team, is the new people strategy, embodies the need of 21st century human resource management. To know more about this rejuvenating concept, the organizing committee has rightly picked up the main theme of the summit. It's a great learning for me all the time. I have learned very first-hand concept and ideas by eminent scholars from day one till yesterday, and I'm also still learning up to 28th of this month. The world is now rapidly changing with new innovations and new entrepreneurships. So according to the theme, I have chosen innovation and entrepreneurship. This is my also very excited part of the learning. At the age of 23, I also happen to be entrepreneurs like in the field of educations, like I established according to Sima ma'am also introduced for me. Like I started like a new kind of education systems in the place of our country, Pokhara. This is the second biggest city of Nepal. So I would like to start from the quote. Recently, I have found in that social media from our one of the renowned lecturer of the entrepreneurship. As he mentioned, like I have been teaching entrepreneurship for more than 15 years, but for the last 6 months, due to this COVID pandemic, he said I'm jobless and I'm homeless because like teaching professions, not like government campuses, like private campuses, like they were shut down for so many months, like for the last 5-6 months. Then we also back from this last month. So I am also sharing these kind of things. I am also representing from the same group. So as a teacher, I like to say myself an educator and as a teacher. So I am the learner for the entrepreneurship, but I always believe like this is also my kind of personality trait. When that Willie ma'am sent me the email for the first time about 3 months back, I still remember the date. She has given me so many topics to choose on. Then I suppose like I know so many, I know sometimes some things from the topic, and then I choose that innovation and entrepreneurship. So how I choose means like if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you are not sure you can do it, say yes. I am following Richard Branson. Then I don't know anything about this innovation and entrepreneurship, but I accepted the proposal from the Willie ma'am. So thank you so much, Willie ma'am, for giving me this chance. So I follow the Richard Branson. Then what he said, what I follow. So
thank you so much, sir, for accepting the invitation. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. So this is kind of, I would like to make ice breaking to our participants, mainly for the students. So you see, like we have gone through a very dark time for the last 6 or 7 months. So in every dark cloud, there truly a silver lining. So I think chat box is open. So can you please write down what you observe here, what you see? Don't take long time because I have also limited time. Rolly ma'am, can you also please share what our participants respond?
So actually we've put off the chat option. Actually we've switched that off. That is why.
So all right, I think so. I think those who are observing, I think you have also gone through that. So I mean to say, like, time is not always in a favor of ourselves. So suppose like you have a sunshine and there is a sunset, there is a night and there is a morning. There is always sun shining. There is a raining. That's the life cycles, or that's the cycle goes to our life. So what we suffer from this last couple of months means this is also, we are also finding the silver lining on a dark cloud. So this is, I wanted to relate how future entrepreneurs looks like. So I'd like to see how visionary you are from this example. Similarly, we don't have that option in the chat box. So when you have time, just save this picture and just you can also observe later on. So this is kind of 21st century. Like this day, like we have been using our phones are wireless. Then we have our cooking system is fireless, and our cars are keyless, and our food are fatless. You see, like normally in the context of Nepal, many youth are jobless. This is not for the India and overseas. This is mainly concerned to our country. Many youths are jobless, then they are going overseas all the times. Then we see like our human relationship is also meaningless, and leaders, we see like political leadership means in the context of a country, like we say, like shameless. And then our feeling is like we usually talk about 3 H's: hair, heart, and hands. But our hearts, our feelings are heartless. At the same time, like we have also all kind of blames from the corporate team, like corporate partners, like they always encourage us to have educations with with value add, but still we have also blame for that education we have with valueless. Then it's still like we are educating children and our children become mannerless. But still everything has become less, but still our hopes are endless. And I have been observing for the last 5 days, and in fact I'm joining this conference, and then I'm still speechless from the students part of presentations, like our previous scholars presentation. So I'm really thankful to the organizer. So when we talk about the innovation in entrepreneurship, like there is always breakthrough innovation. We see like the contents of the world, like today we see the largest bank in the world with no actual cash, that people are using Bitcoin. You see like largest chain hotels with no actual property. We see like Airbnb, that's the chain hotels we usually use in the most. They have like many properties in the world. Like that is also very common in also India, largest taxi service with no own vehicles. In the past, like when I was a child, and I see like people have to own the taxi, they have to purchase to hire a taxi, but nowadays, like through the Uber system, like we don't have to purchase any kind of vehicles. So you see like largest department stores in the world with no single shops, means like Alibaba.com and Amazon.coms, like then more than 1 billion people use one platform, neither this is a newspaper nor a TV. Still, it has no content. That is called Facebook. Like what I mean to say here, like innovations bring out all kind of possibilities here. So as an innovative entrepreneurs, like we have to see the futures. We have to look for the futures. Like we have to be, we have to be ourselves, find that we have to see the prospect of kind of businesses and enterprises. So we have also like educational challenges for to be innovative and to be entrepreneurship. Like entrepreneurship means like always finding new ways, new services. So educational challenges for 21st century means like we have to prepare people for jobs that have not yet been created. So that kind of entrepreneurship is expecting from the world. Like also we are using this Zoom before 6 months, we have not any experience kind of these kind of things, using these kind of things. So we have to focus on our systems, like using technology that have not been invented, like any sort of new invention comes, then we have to be habitual, we have to be experienced on that using these kind of things. Then we have to always ready for the solve the problem that cannot be foreseen. Like nobody thought about this COVID-19 before 7-8 months. Now problem has come and that new solution has also been arises. So this kind of challenges like we are facing. So innovator and entrepreneurs also should also look through this kind of concept. So when you talk about like, when you go back to 2015, like skills were defined like that. Now we are in a 2020 and we have to move forward also 2030. So when you talk about 2015, like skills required by the corporate, number one, skills they look for from the employee means like if you have the ability to solve the complex problems, so that would be fine. But now in the context of 21st century, like people talk about people management. When you go to 2030 means after 10 years, like paradigm also shift here. So your focus should be on a judgment and decision making. So just compare this kind of table, like complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, These are the emotional intelligence, judgment, decision making, service orientation, and this kind of all kind of things that is also required for to be innovative for the entrepreneurs. So challenges of new era, according to the Michael Dell, like these are a very relevant concept for the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs is always, like that synonymous with the entrepreneurs means like we have to go through the innovations. So according to the Michael Dell, like still like many laptops are in queue, and then they are not also like supplying they are not able to supply the content to the people around the world due to high demand of this online classes and things. So according to Michael Dell, like he said, like 85% of jobs in 2030 still not been invented yet. So future entrepreneurs should look after these kind of things. Like you have to, before 10 years, if you talk about Facebook, if you talk about Amazon.com, if you talk about others, eventually growing like the digital company, like that job were not invented. But when you see that back 10 years, like many jobs created by this company. So when you look for the company, look for the enterprises, look for the new inventions. So still 85% job for 2030 are not ready. So you have to invent. So according to this content that entrepreneurs should focus on their business. And still like this is also suggestion for us, like education and skills set not yet decided. Whereas like Forbes says 75% of the company going to disappear from the current space by 2025. So this is also really very good, very great challenges for us also. Like now we run the college, like we run the different businesses, we run different ventures. People never know, like if this COVID continue for more than 2 years, I think what will be the futures of our organizations. So you have to also set on that plan also. So still like 50% of the future company is still not started. So this is world is known by 2080, like 20% people like leading to the 80% population of the world. So still like 50% of the future company is not still started. So in this focus that entrepreneurs should innovate their ventures. So when I talk about like pandemic is not a curse, it's a boom. We have been also observing, like over Steve Jobs, like Mark Zuckerberg, Michael Dell, Jack Ma. And you see like last time I also connected with that automation engineer India that I also happened to meet with Mihir Shukla, and he mentioned that like during this pandemic, like they sold like 400,000 robots during this pandemic. So like so many people suffer from this pandemic, but you see that this gentleman, they always take the positive advantages of a dark night. So if you talk about like new invention all the times, like everything, like, so they have been doing in these things. Look, these are the role models for the innovators and the future entrepreneurs. So I always also myself, I follow this kind of gentlemen. So I try to have some kind of maybe 1% or 2% of their way of doing things. If we can implement on an organization, that could be much more better. So according to that, I already mentioned, like our real entrepreneurs foresee the challenges, then only we see the prospect. As entrepreneurs always, like entrepreneurs known as like risk takers. Where there is a risk, there is a profit. So entrepreneurs also, they are the key factors for the economic developments. At the same time, entrepreneurs, like they are the innovators and change makers. So you are the people to make things happen. Then entrepreneurs like shaped by the personality trait and the characteristic. So high need for achievement and motivations to excel, strong self-confidence, being optimistic, innovative, creative, imaginative, restless, and proactive. So entrepreneurs, shaped by the external environment. Like if you talk to myself, like I happen to be entrepreneur due to this external environment, like external factors. So including my family background, like employment history, like also the education, social networks, culture, prior management experiences. Like, so this is also great learning, like this kind of conferences also build up our inner ability to cope with new ideas and challenges for the future potential. So to be an entrepreneur, like you are the leader and the manager. As every enterprise grows with the time, the entrepreneurs become leader and the managers at a certain stage of the organization growth. And this is why the management skill and competencies are very important. So all the times, like you have to also focus on that kind of things. So we see like many entrepreneurs with creativity brings boom in this pandemic era. So a few examples, I think I have also given that. So many veterans from India, they have also created the history during this pandemic time. Like they have also invented new kind of things for the market also. So this is very common. Just only like to share kind of during this pandemic, like how this innovative company like boost themselves during this pandemic time, like courier and logistics services, like during this 2020, like their progress, like comparing to 2018 to 2020. You see this graph. Similarly, online education in the training through this DME schools, like we have been also doing like 1 week long, this is conference, this is happening through the online. So if you compare to 2018, then if you compare to 2020, like you see like our graph is raising. So when you this is the, in a digital arena, like Nepal is just learning. Nepal is not like so sophisticated on this kind of online content. But if you talk about like recently, like Daraz.com, this is the franchise from the Alibaba.com established in Nepal recently, almost 1 year. So their profit during this pandemic is increased by 200%. So recently, like there's a boom company in Nepal like Daraz, Iseva and Khalti. When you compare with 2019 and 2020, this is the progress made by them. So this is the example of warehousing and storage. So industries that will boom after coronavirus means like that is also connected with like previous speakers for the 4 day. So personal protective equipment that is like needed for the personal hygiene in hospitals, like online teaching, online and digital marketing, e-commerce, online entertainment, healthcare, and robotic systems and robots. For the entrepreneurs, we should have an entrepreneur mindset. Like if your God said like we cannot teach to be entrepreneurs. Like we teach so many students to be entrepreneurs, like even in management, BBA and MBA, even people do PhD in entrepreneurship. But it's very difficult to be a successful entrepreneur. If you talk about like Silicon Valley, like out of 10, only 2 projects are success in that rate. So what I mean to say, like to be an entrepreneur, you must be very innovative. Without innovations, you cannot be entrepreneurs. If an egg is broken by an outside force, like we are giving this kind of guidance also, we are also sharing our experiences, but this is not enough. This is outside force. So to be a real entrepreneur, that egg should be broken by the inside force. That only the life begins. That you have been very familiar with these pictures, but I want to relate with this entrepreneur mindset. So this is the same things I also like to take the examples of deer and the tiger. So deer has a 90 km/h of running speed against tiger speed of 50 km/h, but still deer becomes victim of tigers always. So this is very interesting. Why? Because like deer believes that he is weaker than the tiger, and this fear makes the deer to look back again and again. Like how we behaving with the COVID this time. So much fear with the COVID also. This looking back makes the deer lose his speed as well as courage and thoughts becomes the victims of the tiger. So to be the future entrepreneurs, innovative entrepreneurs, what I urge like, so never underestimate your potential. Your ability, your potential, your Jack Ma potential, maybe Steve Jobs potential, or Bill Gates potential, or Mark Zuckerberg potential, or so many others innovators, that potentials are the same. So this is what is happening with also like I already give the example of the COVID pandemic. So if you have the ability to cope with any sort of challenges means, so do not lose the hope. This platform give you the insight, this platform give you the inspiration to move forward. So never look back. Once you move forward, just move forward. When you turn around, turn yourself means maybe tigers following you. So do not lose your speed. So in life, like everybody wants to be a very successful person. Like I also wanted to be a successful person. You also wanted to be a successful person. Everybody wants to create their brand themselves. So, but why I already told that why 80% population of the world is failed to be the successful. This is the big questions for the educators like us, and big questions for the for all of us. So, success is not a matter of chance. So what I believe is success is a matter of choice. If you believe yourself, if you believe in your potential, if you believe yourself, if you choose to be a successful person, always there is only the you. Success all depends on the second letter means like that depend on you. So success is no accident. Like we see like campus directors, so many professors are here organizing like conveners. They have also gone through the very long journey. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrificing, and most of all, love of what you do and do from your heart. That is also quote from the Pele. So what I recall, what I want to say means like the world is now rapidly changing with new innovations and new entrepreneurship that we have been also experiencing ourselves in our daily life. So in the past 20 years, we believe that the machine will do better. And for the last 20 years, we made people like machines. We suppose like machine would do better than the man or than the people. So in the future, machine will look like a people as evident from the robots used in hospital during this COVID pandemics. So many robots work in a hospital, like they supply food and they supply medicine to the patient. So robot that also looks like a human being, like looks like human intelligence. So thus for humans, the future will be driven by wisdom rather than the knowledge. So what I want to add is like in the future, there is no competition of knowledge. Knowledge means like there is always, like Google is a verb this time. So we have been also facilitating with the Amazon kind of services. So this is a kind of, it's a competition, that the era of competition of the creativity. It's the competition of innovations and it's the competition of imaginations. So what I reinforce like it's a competition of learning and it's a competition of independent thinking. So the focus of competitions will move from knowledge as a key weapon to creativity and the imaginations. So in the futures, for the future entrepreneurs, innovators, entrepreneurs, so the future is not knowledge driven, it's experience driven, like very experienced, like scholars, like experience, sharing their ideas and thought during this conference, like from the last 5 days. And also we are also fortunate to have 3 more days. So we have to listen, we have to observe their journey of life cycle. Then it's a experience driven. It's also the manufacturing driven, and ultimately it's a creativity driven. So there are ample of prospecting innovations and entrepreneurship in the era of remote working. So what I wish to add to the young potential entrepreneurs and innovators, like if you were like Bill Gates said like that, if you were born poor, that doesn't matter. That's not your mistake. But if you die poor, that's a great tragedy. So you have to believe on your own potential. So if you want to change the world, being under 80, under 30 is now an advantages for you. Like majority of the innovators, entrepreneurs, like when you go back to the world, even to the India also, like all the entrepreneurs, like they started their journey almost from their university level, like bachelor's level. Majority of them also didn't also complete masters. You see, like, so education is one part. So to be entrepreneurs, to be innovators, entrepreneurs, this kind of dark nights always help, always support to the entrepreneurs. So that is the schools for the entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs always, like able to use their right hand side of brain. So they are logical, they are creativity. They are also more innovative. Like normally, like we usually use left hand side brain, but left hand side brain always used to work normal day-to-day job. So if you want to be innovative, if you want to be the critical, if you want to be logical, so you have to use all the time right hand side brain. So in every dark cloud, like this is also my favorite course. Like I usually prefer myself also. In every dark cloud, there is truly a silver lining. To find the silver lining in your challenges, you have to think out of the box all the times. So this is not very easy to be an entrepreneur. So when you talk about our country, in the past 10 years, when we asked to the MBA students, what you want to be after MBA, in the past 10 years, they used to say like, I want to be a banker. I want to work for the bank. It was very interesting job at that time. But when you talk now, like everybody wants to say like, everybody like to say, I want to be entrepreneurs. So paradigm has shifted to be an entrepreneur. So also this COVID-19 also bring out new challenges for the new advantages and new possibilities for the young entrepreneurs. So thank you so much for listening to me. How I'm a learner of this topic, and I share my sorts of experiences to you. So any sort of queries, if you have, so you can also send to my email, or you can also send me later on. So thank you so much once again for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Success is not a chance, by chance, but by choice. I truly believe in this. And as I introduced you that you believe in making students book smart, not book smart, but encourage them to be competent and to face the challenges intellectually. And you very much proved it right. And I think all of our student participants and obviously my colleagues, including myself, it was a very interesting presentation, highly innovative to the core, wherein I think students would now be interested in opting for entrepreneurship management courses as well. Because yes, that is the future, and you explained it in a very beautiful way. Thank you for this vision of yours. And it indeed was a valuable session. So I think now we can start with today's presentation. Is it Roli ma'am, can we start?
Yes, ma'am, sure, we can start.
Okay, so I would request our Zoom management, please unmute the participants one by one and also make them co-host for sharing their screens. And we would be allowing 15 minutes time for presenting. And after that, that will be followed by Q&A session. And I think 13 minutes per will be interrupting just to tell you about the timings. To go with the serially, we have at serial number 1, Mr. Narayanan Kulkarni.
Ma'am, before we start with the presentations, it would be great if the session chairs can check the judgment sheet once, whether they're able to edit it or not.
Yeah. The request both Sir Acharya Sir and Dr. Swati, if you could please check that.
Yeah, Dr. Seeman and Parul, I have checked. I can edit I have the editing rights, so I can put in marks and other things. Thank you.
So give me the permission, please.
Sir, I've given you the permission on the email on which.
Yeah, I have opened. Yes, this is the Day-5. Yes.
If it's not editable right now, just refresh the sheet once.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Please try to put in some value in one of the cells and let me know if it is.
Yes, it's all right. All right. Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. So later on, I have to send, or I have to send. Yes.
No, sir. You just have to put your marks. That's all.
Then I'll save
download
myself.
the sheet later. Nothing to be done from your end apart from putting marks.
I have to save these kind of things, or what to do?
Just put down the marks. So just enter the marks in the respective cells. Now Dr. Seema will be explaining to you the criteria. So
Okay.
just put on your marks in those criteria.
Yeah, so we have various criteria, like as in we have for introduction, and for timings, like I said, 15 minutes timing. So we will 5 marks are allotted for that.
So
then
automatic
for
save, yes. Automatic save. I don't have to do anything. Yes.
No, sir, you just have to feed in the marks. Then we have for research design and presentation skills. In all the criteria, like out of marks out of 10, for timings 5. So you just have to evaluate on those basis.
I know that I have to save and I have to send back. What to do?
No, sir, just fill in and then we'll get it. Like Parul ma'am is the main person.
Online. Okay, that's fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
The conference team has given us temporary rights, and after this, they'll be taking the rights away and downloading the sheet so that further editing is not allowed. I am correct?
Yes, ma'am. At the end of the presentations, Parul ma'am will announce that, and she'll freeze those.
So, sir, we'll be providing the marks after the presentations, and then the conference team will be downloading it.
So off we go for Mr. Narayan Kulkarni. Sir, please, you can start. Request you to share your screen.
Madam, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So very good afternoon to one and all. Myself is Narayan Kulkarni. I'm a research student in the Department of Computer Science in SRT Swami Ramanand Tirth Marathwada University, Nanded, India. So my title is Attendance Management System based on face identification in a group using LBP and SVM algorithms for online classes. So these are the table of content, introduction, objectives, experimental work, result analysis, conclusion, and references. So nowadays, what happens in the school and colleges, the attendance is mandatory, because with the help of attendance, we can examine, we can decide the performance of the students, and this attendance is also important for the college or school administration point of view, in order to detect whether it is fake students or in order to detect any other activities. So in spite of lockdown, numerous school and colleges have started their online classes to running the courses for the students. So here these are the phase-based attendance. So these are the structure of phase-based attendance, how I can take the phase-based attendance. So in the phase-based attendance, we are determining or detecting the face from the images, and this face is whose feature is extracted, and there are matching of faces. So see what happens here. There are two type of images we are inputting, or a video we are inputting. First one is called as the training images or training video. In the case of training video or training images, all the students are given their photographs while they are enrollment. So at the time of enrollment, their photos are captured or input by the system, and their feature are extracted. Okay, and after that, when the students present in the class, so again their photo are captured by the camera or mobile by the teachers, and after that again some processing are going on this faces. Processing, it is also called as a pre-processing. Generally it includes detection of faces, then normalizing the images, and again its feature will be extracted. So both features are matched. So that is the features of training images as well as feature of test images. If the feature of test image and the feature of train images are matched, then the students are considered to be present. So see what are the objective of this system is to detect the face from the group photo. Next one is extract the features from the face. Next one is the match, test and train features of the images, and finally is the identify face and mark for the attendance. Okay, so in the experimental work, so I have taken 3 algorithms. So one is called as a Weyla-John algorithm for the detection of faces. Next one is the local binary pattern algorithm, also called as a LBP algorithm. So this is type of visual descriptor used in the face recognition in terms of computer vision or in terms of image processing. And next one, for the classification purpose, I have taken here a support vector machine, also called as a SVM algorithm. So generally this SVM algorithm or machine learning algorithm, which is used for the classification purpose. Here we are going to classify whether the test image is matched with the train image or not. So in case of database, so I have taken 2 standard database called as a CSFAR database, which is School of Engineering and Application Video Database. It consists of HD multiple videos in both offline as well as online, that is in the format of video contribution. Second one, I have taken another database that is also called as a Indian Movie Face Database, which is available on the IIT at Hyderabad. And last one is that my own database that I have created, whose name is VCGFDB, that is Vivekanand College Group Face Database. So here I have taken a collective or group images of the students in the high quality video of the 20 megapixel cameras. Okay, and I have taken in both the format, online as well as online. So I have also taken these images in both ways, that is with the light and without the light. So what happens here, when we doing the face recognition or face identification, we are facing some problems. The first problem is that the lighting conditions, means in what lighting condition the students have given the faces. That is also called, maybe in the dark or maybe a lighting. That okay. And next one is the background. What is the background behind the image? Suppose now here I am giving my images, and at the very back, suppose there is another image of the present. Okay, so another photo is present. Then what happens? It is also considered at that image. And next one is the position. What is the position of your image, or what is the position of face? Suppose I am moving from this right, or maybe moving from the left, or maybe up or down. It may be less chances to identify or recognize the image. So see here, I have taken 2 sample images. So what happens if the students are present in the classroom? So these are the group of students or the crowd of class, and here at the top I have taken a image, or maybe image can be taken by the CCTV camera which is in front of the or on the students. Okay, so this CCTV camera collect the image of the students, and this image is I have captured in the in our system, and with the help of MATLAB. MATLAB is one of the software. In that software, I have separate this image first. So I have detect the faces first of all. Then I am separating the images. Means I will capture of faces. That is also called as the face cropping. Okay. Then I will process some pre-processing. Pre-processing means this image consists of some unwanted data. So I will remove that unwanted data. I will make the equal size of this image. Then I will extract the features from the image, and this feature I will compare with the features that I have previously stored for the same students. And if the features of this image and the previously stored images are matches, it is considered that the student is to be present. Okay, so you can see in the another diagram that I have seen these are the faces that we can also extract from when we are conducting an online class. The same image we can also consider that we can also extract faces, and we can also detect, or we can also extract features from this image also, and we can also make a comparison with the already faced image. Now, in terms of result analysis, so I have taken here, it is confusion matrix. So in the confusion matrix, we are having 4 values: true positive, okay, false negative, false positive, and true negative. Okay, so these are the confusions. So there are so many measurements are going to find the accuracy. Okay, so we want to find the accuracy, whether what the face we have identified is accurate or not. Okay, or how many faces we can find the accurate. Okay, so what are the errors in that? So in order to find such measurements, we are taking the help of this confusion matrix. So on the basis of this confusion matrix, we are having some formula that accuracy, how we can find the accuracy, that is true positive plus true negative divided by total positive plus total negative. Similarly, we can calculate the sensitivity of that image, whether okay, true positive divided by total number of negative. Specificity, true negative divided by true negative plus false positive. Okay, and after that, false acceptance rate, that is we can also calculate false acceptance rate, that is false positive divided by false positive plus true negative. Error rate, so what are the errors in that? So we can find out false positive plus false negative divided by total number of positive and total number of negative. So here on this database we have applied, so we found out this result, that is accuracy 98.3%, sensitivity is 72.65%, specificity is 99.08, precision is 73.75%, F score is 71.87%. Okay, Matthew correlation coefficient is 95.82. This is the false acceptance rate, which is very important. False acceptance rate means how many false images it can be accepted. So that is only 0.05, and this is false rejection rate. Okay, so this is 13.57. Error rate, so it is very minimal error rate, that is 1.7. So these are the graphical representations for the above table. So, and these are the final output. So what the system I have designed, so I have designed in the MATLAB system, and in the MATLAB we can also maintain our Excel file, or also called as a CSV file. So in that CSV file, I have taken the different roll numbers. Say for example, in the first column you can view student roll number, and these are the dates, on what date I have taken the attendance. So similarly, I have taken the attendance on 18 December, in December, likewise. So what happens? What are the present student? It will indicate that present, absent, and so on. So in this way, we can automatically maintain the attendance of the student by capturing the pictures in a group. Okay, so what happens? What are the still existing systems? They are only for the single person. Single student can in a queue and give the biometric attendance, and maybe give a fingerprint. So this is for the single persons. So in that again there are so many drawbacks. The students again stay in a queue, or maybe time lapse. So in order to save their time, so I have designed this system. So these are the conclusions, that the performance measurements, I found that the accuracy, sensitivity. So your accuracy is okay. So accuracy is 98.3, sensitivity is 72.65, specificity is 99.08, and I have dropped false acceptance rate till the 0.05% and error rate up to 1.7% for this system and for this online database. So this is the conclusion. So these are the references, and thanks. If any questions,
Thank you, Mr. Kulkarni. Dr. Acharya, your questions, please, and Dr. Swati also.
Acharya sir, any questions from your side?
Thank you so much, Naren Kulkarni sir.
Thank you, sir.
Indeed, it's a great presentation. So thank you so much. I think it's highly enlightened. So I don't have any queries to ask. Congratulations once again.
Okay, Mr. Kulkarni, I would just like to ask one thing. What are the conclusions that can you just show that slide? Yeah, so you have given some figures regarding the performance measure in accuracy and sensitivity and other things. How is this system, how can the system be applied directly to, the online attendance system, or this measure, this outcome that you have given? How can we apply it to the, online attendance system precisely?
So madam, so when suppose now our meeting is going on, so what happens at the same time we can view the photos or pictures of everyone on the screen. Okay, so I can take the screenshot and automatically that image will be captured, and this image is input to our system, and our system is automatically capture the faces of, from this group image, and in this way I can apply to this system. Actually my system is basically work for the physical student, for the physical class. Okay, but I maybe try for online classes.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is what,
so yeah,
whether it is applicable to the online system or other things as well simultaneously when we are into the COVID era wherein all the classes are going online. So
yeah.
in that situation, how far it can be helpful or how effective it will be, because in the physical classroom system it is effective.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, right. Thank you, Mr. Kulkarni.
Thank you, Mr. Kulkarni.
Okay.
You may stop sharing the screen.
Ma'am, there is one more participant. I know. I don't know. For some reason, he or she has raised his hand. Harpreet Kaur. So, is there a query or it by mistake it has been raised?
Ms. Harpreet, you have been asked to unmute in case you have a query. Please let us know.
All right, perhaps it's a by mistake. I'll just lower his hand down.
Okay, now we have Miss Pooja Rane with us, who's going to present on the serial number 2. Can we have Miss Pooja? And please make her the co-host.
Ma'am, there is a participant by the name of Miss Pooja Srivastav, not Miss Pooja Rani. So should I unmute Miss Pooja Srivastav? All right. Okay, she has been made the co-host.
Miss Pooja, can you please switch on your camera and start with the presentation? Ma'am, you're not audible. Parul ma'am, can we move on to the third participant till the time ma'am arranges her system and all?
Oh, ma'am, sure. Also, Pooja, ma'am, you can just log out and log in again. You can just log out and log in again. Meanwhile, we'll take the next presentation.
So we can start with Mr. Ayush Dubey. Please unmute him. Ayush, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Please switch on your video.
Yes, ma'am. I was just facing some issues.
Okay.
How ironical, this session is for technology and innovation, and people are having technical errors.
Yes, ma'am. I hope I'm audible, audible and as well as visible.
Yeah. Please share your screen now. You can start.
Yes.
All the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, should I start now?
Yes, please start.
Okay. Very good afternoon to one and all present here. This is Ayush Dubey, presenting the paper Understanding the Impact of Remote Working on Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Startup. Study in Indian context.
Ayush, enable editing and slideshow.
Ma'am, what?
Enable editing, click on
Yes,
that,
ma'am.
and then slideshow.
Ma'am, it's for me, it's already on slideshow.
Okay.
But
It's
it doesn't
not for
appear
us.
to be.
I guess again, I'll just do it once again, ma'am.
Yeah.
You can try once. If not, then you can continue.
Okay, ma'am. I'll just minimize this then. Is it now, ma'am?
No.
Yeah.
You just click on the fourth icon. I think that would be the slide.
No, ma'am. I'm clicking here only in the slideshow
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Click
I
on
already did that. It's let me.
Yes,
For me,
now
it's
you
showing that I'm
need
on a
to do.
slideshow mode, but
Now do it again. Yes.
Yeah, now it's fine.
okay, ma'am. Okay. So I'll just can I start again or should I just continue?
Please continue.
Okay, ma'am. Contributing authors: Palak Bajpayee, the student DME Management School, and Shanu Jain, assistant professor DME Management School. Content: first, we'll have a brief introduction, followed by objectives, research methodology, data analysis, discussion, recommendation, and finally conclusion. While countries around the world continue to mobilize the effect of COVID-19, the pandemic has significantly changed our lifestyle. More than 1 million people have started working from home ever since COVID-19 took place. We all know that work from home experiment is not something new, but it has in trend for quite a long time now. No one before the pandemic ever thought the concept of work from home will someday be the new normal. Although many organizations and firms have already been carried out the concept of work from home even before the outbreak of coronavirus in order to provide flexibility to their employees. But post-pandemic, it has got greater acceptability. In some firms, almost everyday tasks like meetings, follow-ups, dealings can be managed and handled easily from home. But it's not a logical alternative for those who are in hospitality, production, tourism, heavy and or handloom industries. It's hard time like these where work from home is a blessing in disguise. For many firms, the organization that would have otherwise struggled to survive in the market. Also, work from home has saved the bread and butter of million of people around the world. It's a surprise that leading government companies and public sector undertaking this that previously were never in favor of working from home have accepted it and also encouraging it for greater benefits, well-being and interest. Even if the employees return to their their empty desks right now, things won't be the same anytime sooner. Risk of getting infected and anxiety are going to affect the organization and organization growth and productivity. Organizations believe that work from home is more effective method as of now because it has resulted in more productive, less time consuming and has cut off a lot of expenses for the organization. Moving forward, what were the objectives? Now, post-COVID outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, there has been an entire wave of change in doing businesses and carrying out operations, be it finance, marketing, supply chain management, distribution, etc. not only the business but consumer behavior. Their choices and preferences have changed. Their lifestyles are also transformed. Now we have to look at the bigger picture here. So for that, in this the change that we face in such a short span of time, the marketers have to respond their strategies to target the audience and reposition themselves against the backdrop that this studies the backdrop that is faced. Now, the study attempts to find the following things. First, to identify the most noticeable or crucial changes faced by entrepreneurs post the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. Analyze the concept of work from home or remote working impacted the business venture. Is it negative? Is it positive? Or is it neutral? See the changes in marketing and communication with consumers post COVID-19. Again, understand the expectations of entrepreneurs from the government, private institutions, or educational setups to enhance the entrepreneurial environment in the current times. And then at last, to exchange experience and share views of the new startup to the new startup owners or the upcoming entrepreneurs, those who are planning to set up their venture in times to come. Now, research methodology. To achieve the above objectives and understand the perspective of startup owners and entrepreneurs who recently started their business, either sometime before the COVID outbreak or the outbreak of COVID or during the pandemic, we interviewed 5 people. These respondents belong to different sectors, and we tried to capture those various sectors to have a holistic view. Table 1, and we'll be showing in the next slide. We'll be showing you a table that is table 1 that gives a description of the respondent and the key sectors that they started their business in. A careful overview in the existing literature helped us to frame the questions. The same were discussed among us, among the co-authors for further refinement. The interview happened telephonically after obtaining the consent of the respondent and explaining them the concept of the research. The responses were recorded and converted into transcripts by author. These transcripts were then analyzed by our software. Text analysis is a powerful tool to use on quantitative data deriving meaningful results. So here we can see a bit of description of our respondents, the 5 respondents that we had. First respondent was from a legal firm. Our second respondent they started their own educational venture. Our third respondent was a co-founder of a co-working space. Then followed by the fourth respondent, he was owner of a fast food restaurant. And the respondent number 5, last respondent, he is a provider of digital marketing solutions. With that, we come to data analysis. So the interview transcripts were converted into PDF files and word clouds, and word frequency plots were generated using R codes. These objectives was to find the major themes and sub-themes around which the respondent gave their opinion and perspective. The output is generated. The output that is generated is discussed below. So this is what we got. Now, moving forward, if we see that a careful examination of the above word cloud, the important themes like digital, signifying the exceptional increase in the growth of digital performance, digital marketing, payment, and interactions, exchanging, etc. Post the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. Other important themes which were outlined are work, home, online, business, cost, clients, etc. This clearly indicates the concept of remote working or work from home work from home has greater acceptability and is a new normal. This is an impact on nature and type of businesses. Many of them have shifted from to online platforms which enhance their digital presence and use the digital communication. It has implications for entrepreneurs having existing business, revamp their strategies, and the new ones who are planning to start their ventures. Another very useful output. Another very useful output that we got in this is this word frequency plotter. This word frequency plotter, the thing is that the output is also indicates the most frequent word used in the entrepreneurial digital venture. Uh, uh, these words were digital, venture, work, home, which supported the fact that entrepreneurs have experienced the change due to work from home culture and many other changes that have come post outbreak of COVID-19. The outcomes have important managerial implications and policy recommendations, which are discussed in the next section. Now, these are the views that we received. These were the responses that we received when we asked them, when we asked our respondents. Now, in a very, in short, if I say a common theme that emerged around all the respondents of the startup owners is digital. So the highlight that the digital acceptance has increased many folds. Earlier, when people were not too much dependent on technology or digital platforms due to its complexity or not being able to grasp the new technology that has that or the perspective. That perspective actually has changed. It's now the need of the hour, be it the younger generation or the so-called boomer generation. Everyone is now dependent on the digital platforms. From education to movie nights, from online farewells to office meetings. Everything is now digital. But protection and security are key fundamental worries for some residents during the pandemic. In agricultural nation like us, the advanced separation in this is generally obvious because of social obstructions. Now, COVID has implied the utilization of contactless computerized innovation across India. Role of government and policymaker is instrumental when it comes to the coping up with the pandemic and adapting to new change. The study tries to capture the perspective of the entrepreneurs on the sudden change in the situation worldwide and dependency on digital platforms technologies. Now, in the views of our respondents that I shared earlier, the second last slide, to sum up that, what was stated that the entrepreneurs suggested, these were the recommendations that entrepreneurs suggested that more focus should be given on the to the technology and the usage of it in India, as it is a big market. People should know the power and judicial use of it, and also it would help promote the local products and local product and places. It's true that more proper execution of work and workforce has to be there in a very calm and cautious, very calmly. And because because of course cautious time like these, this is okay. Now the thing is, to make this crisis profitable, one has to give it proper research and study, as well as to not to lose hope at collapsing time like this. Changes in lifestyle and the consumption habits due to the remote working has impacted business. Some have faced setbacks, some are facing growth, and some are just came into existence because of that. But there are many who have even lost it. Now there have been a mixed response from the entrepreneurs who seek the opportunities in these crises, with active support from the government and active support from the government. With this economy, social and political environment, the road is unending with the plethora of opportunities for the young startup ventures or owners. Now we come to the conclusion. The study attempts to contribute to the existing literature to understand how
I think he got disconnected.
I think Ayush has been disconnected.
Yes, ma'am. I think so. We can just wait, maybe.
Change from my turn is creating problem. It was okay whole day, but
I guess, Acharya, so these are some of the infrastructure issues, which are causing trouble here and there. Because it was very rightly focused earlier, I pointed out by Ms. Parul Grover, this is the technology era. We are talking about technology and innovation and entrepreneurship, and we are being.
entrepreneurs always face the challenges. That's the reason.
Yes, join back.
So you have to be ready for any sort of intervention.
Yeah. We have to be very accommodating with these things currently because the infrastructure was not actually properly developed for these things while we have converted to these modes very fast because of the COVID era.
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. Teachers,
Never mind.
panelists, it's unfortunate. I guess my net has gone now. Lost my net here. That will be back. But I was just on the conclusion. So if I get the opportunity, can I just sum up in last one?
Because you already had a break, so just to tell you that you have last 2 minutes to complete your presentation.
Yeah, you can quickly conclude, Ayush.
Yes, ma'am. I was just on the conclusion.
Yeah, that's fine, without wasting any more time.
So, ma'am, basically the conclusion is that the study tries to attempt. We are trying to contribute to the given study, contributed to the existing literature to understand how the work from home concept has an impact on the entrepreneurs and how it leads to a lot of changes.
Ayush,
yes, ma'am.
Just a second, please, dear. Can you please share your screen once again? I think your screen is not shared.
Actually, ma'am, I was logged in with my laptop, and that net is gone, so I won't be able to log in back again till I get my net.
Sorry to intervene, ma'am, and this presentation. I have this presentation as a backup since I am the contributing author. So if you allow me, can I share the screen?
Yes, please.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
It's always fine,
Good afternoon.
Good planning is half done here.
Yes. So actually, this I have. He has sent me this PPT, so I believe it can be done. So Ayush, please go ahead. You can complete your PPT.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. I'm just getting that. Yes, ma'am. I'll just continue with that the study attempts to contribute to the existing literature to understand how the work from home concept has an impact on entrepreneurs and how it leads to a lot of changes. An entrepreneur is the one who drives the best from the crisis, and there are people who are successfully ventured into the new trend that has set up, and a lot more is expected to come out of it. The study tries to capture the diverse areas of startup and entrepreneurship to have a holistic view, but the number of respondents were limited due to paucity of time. Further researches can be taken up to incorporate the views of the startup owners in various other sectors to undertake a comparative study, either industry-wise or a cross-country comparison to understand the impact of remote working on startup and innovation in a detailed manner. So with this, the next slide is basically our references. And thank you. Now we are open to the questions.
Acharya sir and Swati ma'am, please take question and answers.
Thank you, Ayush. The way you did a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Small queries like, what's your sample size?
So sample size is five entrepreneurs.
So what's your method for?
So basically our method is first we explained first of all what we did, we tried to find out what are we tried to have a holistic view so for that we wanted entrepreneurs from different sectors, to be exact. So here we can see in this given slide that ma'am shared that that one responded is from a legal firm, the other one is from an educational has an educational venture, the third one is a co-author of Working Space. So following this, no one has a proper, no one can correlate if that we are talking about business, but if we talk about their experiences, that is different. Now coming back to how we get that done, First of all, we had different. We sat together, all the authors. We sat and we discussed what could be, what are the main common things that we can ask that is faced by everyone. These were the questions that is given in the objective that I talked about in the objectives itself. Now, for that we had first we had explained our entrepreneurs the concept or the research about the concept of our research, and then we asked them over a telephonic call with consent that we would be recording the interview, and then accordingly we systematically asked them questions regarding their business and their views on this given environment.
Thank you.
Okay, now that Acharya sir has asked, I'll not continue. But just in case, Ayush, like how do you correlate these so different entrepreneurs? These are people from very different fields.
Yes, ma'am. To be honest, ma'am, this is where even though all of them are from a different, they have a different background. If we are talking about their business, all of them have a different background, but there is one thing in common. That is, all of them are facing some or the other issues because of this worldwide pandemic. And now we would want to know, what we wanted to know is what we can get out of it, how these things are coping up. Like if I take a normal example, there's one of my respondents who was actually in this venture, the startup venture, where they were talking about the educational startup. What they did, it was quite beneficial for them because they were able to contact two students, those who are abroad, or maybe just maybe in the south or in the north. They were able to contact to them very efficiently. On the other hand, the digital platform where we talked about the one who was providing the one of the correspondents who were providing us with the digital solutions, they of course for them it was they had more opportunities. Same on the other hand goes where other businesses, the fast food chain owner, he was facing a lot of downside because of this. But then again, with online delivery apps and stuff, he was able to cope up with that. So each and every single one of them were able to cope up in their own way. So this was just a whole view of how different sectors were actually able to cope up with this.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Ayush.
So thank you, Ayush. You can, yeah. So can we go back to Pooja Srivastav? Are you ready, ma'am?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am, you are very much audible.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Please switch on your video and you can share your screen.
Ma'am, hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, ma'am. Please switch on your video.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we are unable to see you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. It's fine now. All the best, ma'am.
Very good afternoon to all panelists and the participant. And I am heartily thankful to Delhi Metropolitan Education Noida for giving me such an opportunity to present my paper on the topic COVID-19 and remote working for MSMEs, needs, difficulties and opportunities. I am the research scholar of Lovely Professional University. I am doing PhD in commerce and my guide name is Dr. Rupinder Katoj from Lovely Professional University.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. Can you please...
The table of content includes introduction.
Ma'am, please can you share the slideshow?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
The table of content includes introduction, review of literature, objectives, research methodology, need of remote working for MSMEs, challenges faced by MSMEs in adopting remote working concept, and challenges faced by MSMEs during digitalization process, contribution of government, small and mid-sized businesses in digitalization of micro, small and medium enterprises, government initiatives to improve digitalization and opportunities in adopting working MSMEs. After that, conclusion and differences. In the introduction part, micro, small and medium enterprise are particularly vulnerable to the economic impact of COVID-19 pandemics. COVID-19 crisis
Pooja
is
ma'am,
pushing.
Miss Pooja, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your
Yes, ma'am.
slides, your screen is not sharing, like it's not visible now.
Okay, ma'am. I'm checking it. I'm
Yeah,
checking it, ma'am.
it has stopped.
Host. Yes, ma'am. I'm checking. Screen share. Ma'am, now.
Yeah, ma'am, it has started, so I think we'll be able to see it.
Yes.
Not yet, ma'am. Yeah, now it is there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure. Sure. Yes, ma'am. My presentation topic is. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
Yes, ma'am. My presentation topic is COVID-19 and remote working for MSMEs. MSME stands for micro, small, medium enterprises, need difficulties and opportunities. My name is Pooja Rani, research scholar of lovely National University. I am heartily thankful to Delhi Metropolitan Education Noida for giving me such an opportunity to present my paper over here. The table of content includes introduction, review of literature, objectives, risk methodology, need of remote working for micro, small, and medium enterprises, challenges faced by MSMEs adopting remote working concept, challenges faced by MSMEs during digitization process, contribution.
I think she got disconnected again.
She has also technical problem.
Yes, sir.
The weather is not favoring.
Is there. Miss Pooja Rani, ma'am, your screen is again gone. Yeah, it started again.
We have to have a backup from.
Ma'am, you are on mute, Pooja ma'am.
Ma'am, hello.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, are you using two screens?
Ma'am, up screen is visible.
Ma'am, start हो रही है.
Screen is visible. Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am, it is starting. Yes, ma'am, it is started.
My screen is visible. See,
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please carry on.
Yes, ma'am. Can I speak?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Micro, small, and medium enterprises are facing various problems in this COVID-19 period, just as shortage of raw material, disturbance in supply chain management, and no proper accessibility to market, and decrease in demand. And COVID-19 crisis is pushing more consumers online and accelerate the adoption of e-commerce. Remote working does not mean flexible or comfortable style.
I think there is some issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, my screen is visible.
No, ma'am. Just stopped again.
No. Okay, ma'am.
Pooja ma'am, just to suggest you, would that
Yes,
be
ma'am.
possible if somebody else can present their screen on your behalf? Do you have somebody with you right now? You can email
Yes, ma'am.
him or her the presentation. Ask that person
Yes,
to
ma'am.
join the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we
I
will
can do.
make that person the co-host. He or she can share his or
Ma'am,
her screen.
yes, ma'am. I'm sharing. I'm sharing, ma'am. Just wait.
Then let us know the name of that person. We will add him or her and make them the host, co-host.
Or
Yes,
probably
ma'am. Sure.
Done.
possible that we should ask to mail her PPT or something if possible.
Ma'am, we can do that as well. You can suggest, Swati ma'am, how should we go about it?
If she has an issue, we can ask her to mail the presentation to one of you, and then on the conference ID from here we can screen share, or if required, I mean, we can give her the next round after the next presentation if she's having issues. And we can,
In the meanwhile, we can continue with the next
we
part.
can continue with the full presentation. And Acharya sir, will that be suitable?
Ma'am?
Will that be suitable if we take, I mean, we present on her behalf and then she'll be giving a presentation. We can share the screen because we have stable connections comparatively.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, ma'am. Try once. Otherwise, you can mail it to Parul ma'am maybe, and she would share the screen on your behalf.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I think we can fairly write a paper based on the empirical data that we are collecting that the infrastructural issues the pandemic has forced us into an era of digitalization, but then the infrastructure support is yet to be developed for these things.
Actually, no. Parul ma'am, can we go ahead with the next participant? In the meanwhile, you can coordinate with Pooja ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you can go ahead with the next one, I think.
Okay, okay. So next would be Miss Ruchi Malik. I would request the Zoom management to make her the co-host.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I would request if you can make Anchal Gupta also as a co-host because she'll be sharing the presentation.
Okay, ma'am. We can request Anchal Gupta ma'am to be also made the co-host.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'm just sharing the slides.
Okay, good afternoon and all the best to both of you.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
I'm just going for slideshow. Yeah. Hope it is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Please start.
Good afternoon, everyone. The topic for our presentation is academicians' challenges in remote working practices, for which I am very grateful to Dr. Anchal Gupta for guiding me throughout the paper. We have written it together. So in the presentation, can we go to the next slide, please, Anchal?
Yeah, sure.
So in the presentation, we'll be talking briefly about introduction, background and literature review, research methodology, conclusions, and implications. So just to start with, we've gone through a lot of literature, specifically with respect to e-learning. So what we gathered, what exactly is e-learning? E-learning is something which is a very broad concept and includes obviously it's the most advanced form of technology when it comes to learning any student from school or college. However, the means of e-learning can be so that it can be through the video based education, it can be through CD-ROMs, it can be the pre-recorded videos of teachers, anything. So there are many forms of e-learning to start off with. What our paper covers is the online interactive learning, which is the OI platforms. OI platform specifically talks about when there is a two-way communication which is happening at a real-time basis. So when we talk about the OI platforms, obviously India is at a very infancy stage in terms of its OI platform. However, COVID has resulted, as all of us know, COVID forced schools and colleges, everybody to move towards these OI platform, and without any training support, without immense amount of knowledge, everybody was forced to shift towards these platforms. So that is the reason we could find that academicians, be it at the school level or be it at a college level, were facing a lot of challenges. So our paper focuses on these challenges with respect to what academicians faces. Broadly, what our objective of the paper was to identify these major challenges which the academicians face in online learning throughout India. And then what we have done is we have used one of the advanced technique, which is called the TISM model, on which Dr. Anshul Gupta is going to further explain it. And try to talk more about these challenges with respect to this. So through the literature, what we have gathered is that there have been many challenges, and we have tried to rank order these challenges.
Sorry.
It's fine. So we have tried to rank order these challenges. I'll briefly be discussing these challenges, and then maybe it is going to help to understand the TISM model very well when Dr. Anshul is going to discuss further about it. So the challenges which I'm sure all of you would agree upon is the technological and competence of the academicians, as well as which obviously affects the academician's confidence level. Then also there is not so much of training support which was given. There was not so much of training support which is there for specifically these OI platform, though we find most of these OI platform to be very user friendly today. But if you look at a very broad perspective throughout India, tier 2 towns, or rather not even tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 towns, it did require it is a great challenge, because people there maybe they are not so much well versed even with laptops or even with desktops. The other was our curriculum is not so much aligned to the OI learning platforms. And further, there have been challenges with respect to attitude towards OI learning. How do you engage students? How do you make sure that it becomes a more interactive session, as fruitful as it can be in a physical class? And how do you assess students? Again, a difficulty which the teachers are facing, faculty are facing throughout. And obviously there are initially many people face these gadget issues. Somehow these gadget issues got resolved in maybe the metro cities or tier 1 cities, in the upper middle class or middle class, who could afford to buy even more gadgets once the unlock was there. Initially it was a problem for everybody, but till now people who do not fall under that income brackets face that challenge, because that's something that's something which is adding on to the problems. The next point is the conflicting priorities. I don't know to what extent everybody would agree to it, but there were some papers which was talking about the conflicting priorities of academicians, which meant that especially in an Indian situation wherein we find that it's a male dominated society. So once the woman is at home, it is somewhere you had more work pressures, not only from your office, but there were a lot of pressures at home, specifically when maids are also not coming. At the same time, your kids are also at home. So you had, you somehow it resulted in more stress level for people, what to give more priority to and how do you manage time. So that's also one of the challenges which this OI platform landed up with. Internet connectivity issues, we've already witnessed that. And obviously availability of educational resources. So there are sometimes some technical papers. For that matter, I am taking economics wherein there are diagrams which I find it to be more comfortable drawing with my own hands. And Dr. Anchal also takes, advanced operational techniques, AOT paper. And the way she explains, and she always needs a board and all the resources. This is just one example I am giving, but there can be multiple other examples at school levels. At school level, what kind of resources, infrastructural support, which school can provide at the school itself, it cannot come to the vicinity of a teacher's house. So that's something, again, another challenge which is with the OI learning platforms. Further, I would request Dr. Anchal to continue with the analysis part to it.
Thank you, Ruchi. So good afternoon, everyone. As Ruchi, my colleague, has already introduced me, I am Dr. Anchal. I am working as an assistant professor at APJ School of Management. So I will continue with the research methodology part. So as my colleague Ruchi has already discussed about all the challenges of OI platforms, so I will continue further with that. So what exactly we did in this paper, we tried to identify challenges to OI platforms from literature, from vast literature review. And then we tried to, then we applied TISM, Total Interpretive Structure Modeling, as a research methodology to identify the contextual relationship among all the identified challenges and to prioritize them, that which one is more critical, and while delivering the sessions, which is the most critical challenge faced by academicians and which has to be rectified on the priority. So first of all, I would like to share the steps for TISM. First of all, you need to identify the challenges. Then you need to develop a contextual relationship among them. Then you need to interpret after taking experts' opinion. You develop a pairwise comparison. Then SSM, structural self-interaction matrix has been developed. Further, reachability matrix has been developed. And then there are partitions into different leveling. Leveling means ranking of challenges has been done. One diagraph or TISM model has been developed through which you can understand the different levels and their priorities. And then there's one micmac analysis which clustered down all the identified challenges, and then you can make some final conclusions to the identified results. Then this is the first part of the TISM steps, that is SSIM, Structural Self-Interaction Matrix. So this works on VAXO concept. V means if the variable I or the challenge I will leading to challenge J, then we will name it as V. A is variable J will lead to variable I. Then X is variable and I and J will lead to each other, and O means variable I and J are not unrelated. So what exactly we do, we took around 20 academicians from different colleges and schools in NCR, and we requested them to help us to find out their relationship among all the challenges and which challenge they find more important and which challenge affects the other challenge or making any impact on other challenge or not. So on that basis, we fill this matrix. So as we say, lack of training and technological support for OI learning, and the relationship with 10 is A. So it means availability of educational resources lead to lack of training and educational technological support. So we asked various experts, and taking out their averages on their suggestions, we make this final matrix. Now this matrix can be replaced with binary digits 1 and 0, and that matrix is known as reachability matrix. So this reachability matrix is the standard, this method TISM is given by Sushil 2012 and it is a revised version of ISM technology, which was given by Warfield in 1973. So it is well-known multi-criteria decision-making models, which is used by many researchers, and the results which are found to be very valid and accurate. So here in the reachability matrix, we say if V is value of I to J, wherever we find V, I to J, we will put 1 here, and value from J to I is 0. It means that if I find that 1 to 10 is V, so I will put 1 to 10 1, and 10 to 1 I will put 0. Similarly, if there's A, then for values from I to J it will be 0, and from value J to I will be 1. So for example, if say 1 to 9 is A, so we will put 1 to 9 as 1 and 9 to 1 as 0. Just one example. So in this way, this reachability matrix is made. One more step, which is not mentioned in steps, is transitivity. So in this particular matrix, after making reachability matrix, we try to make final reachability matrix. You can see at many places there's 1 star. So 1 star is basically representing the transitivity relationship. And what we mean by transitivity relationship, if A tends to B tends to C, then A will definitely lead to C. So we will check for each challenge. If it is a case that A is leading to B, if for example 1 is leading to 10 and 10 is leading to 3, so it means 1 will also lead to 3. So in this way we make matrix. After that, we will, there's one more thing I forgot to explain. That is the driving power and the dependence power. So driving power explains the influencing power of a particular challenge with respect to other challenges. So we just add all these values to get the driving variable. Similarly, dependence power represents the dependency of one challenge on the other challenges. So we get a score of driving power and dependence power from this matrix. Then we make reachability set, antecedent set, and the common between them is intersection on the basis of the previous matrix. So after making this, we level them by using the TISM methodology. And as you can see, internet connectivity issues is on level 1, and availability of education resources is on 1. Physical is on first level. Physical and mental issues and conflicting priorities of academicians on second level. So after having this leveling chart and the previous matrix, we can make this TISM based model. So this will show the linkage between all the challenges, and there's a leveling of that. This is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So the challenges on the first level is not that critical academicians, but the challenges on the last level are most critical. This has to be rectified on the priority. So from the above challenges as described by Ruchi, the last one, the most critical challenges are lack of training and technological support for OI learning. So this is the very first thing which is required. So the management should start academicians to provide proper training and technological support from the institute to provide so that they can deliver better sessions to the students through OI learning. Similarly, the technological competence and the confidence of the academician is also found to be very critical barrier or a challenge which need to be rectified on priority. So once we start with the start providing proper trainings and technological support, definitely the confidence of the academicians will also be high up. Similarly, attitude towards OI learning, student enthusiasm, and alignment of curriculum towards OI learning. This is critical, but not that one. So it is on the 4th level. Difficulty in student assessment and engagement and access to internet and gadgets at home is at 3rd level. So these challenges are also faced by academicians, but not that critical as them. After that, we also do micmac analysis after finding the TISM model and the previous information. So basically there are 4 clusters. If you see this dark line, so this one is the first cluster, which is known as autonomous variables. So in our study, we don't find any autonomous variable, and autonomous variables are those variables which are found to be disconnected from the system. So in our study, we do not find any of the challenge which is disconnected to the system. This is the, I forgot to tell, this X line, X axis is representing the dependence power, which we have find in the table before. And this Y axis is representing the driver power. So the starting numbers has low dependence power and the low driving power. So the first quadrant means low driving and low dependence, and these variables are known as autonomous. And as I've mentioned, we do not have any autonomous variable in our study. If we go here, this second quadrant is dependent variable, where dependence
Sorry,
is
ma'am,
high.
to disturb. Ma'am, you left with last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's my almost last slide. One more slide is left. Okay. So this the second quadrant is a dependent variable where the dependence power is high and driving power is low. So the challenge number 4, 6, 8, and 10 are found to be more dependent on other challenges. So if we remove other challenges, then definitely these challenges get better solution. Now the third quadrant is known as the linkage variables or linkage barriers, where you see the dependence power and the driving power both are high. So if 2 and 9 linkage barrier means which shows influence, which get influenced by others and also show high impact on others. So highly linked with other barriers. So if we remove these, it will help us to get better solution to the admissions problem. The last one is the independent challenge, where the driving power is more and dependence is less. So these 4 are found to be more critical, which is also aligned with the TISM graph based model, which we discussed in the last slide. So these 4 are found to be the more critical, because the more independent or more driver means they are the first one or the more important which are affecting the system. So that are need to be rectified on priority. So with this, the final conclusion is, in this particular study, we have identified 10 challenges through vast literature review and discussed with experts. Then we categorize these challenges into different clusters, and we find out cluster and contextual relationship between them. Lack of training and technological support for learning and technological competence and confidence of academicians are found to be the most critical challenge which need to be rectified on priority. So all challenges have their own impact and dependence. So this study can help institutes or the management to understand the priority. They can work accordingly to rectify these challenges, and the important steps can be taken to get better fruitful learning through OI platforms. As we can further expand this study. So in this study, we have conducted only in Delhi. So we can further extend this study to entire country, and more MCDM multi-criteria decision-making models can be used and the results can be compared for better study. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Acharya, sir, if you have any questions for ma'am.
I think Ruchi ma'am and Achal ma'am performed very well. I think I have no queries. All queries were clear.
Thank you,
Dr. Swati ma'am.
Ma'am, you are on mute.
Swati ma'am, you're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. A very well compiled presentation, Ms. Ruchi and Dr. Achal. But then there is one thing that I would really like to know. I mean, yes, the online platforms learning and training is required, but how do we handle the student, student attention factor as far as the online learning is concerned? That is one major issue which is cropping up. So yes, your point is very valid that online training, there are so many platforms which are available. Anything on that area that you have worked upon?
So, ma'am, that's one of the challenge. I think even we have highlighted that, in terms of student engagement, student assessment, that becomes one of a very critical challenge. While going through the literature, we found out that, that is something which is also happening because the curriculum is designed with respect to physical classrooms. So if this thing continues, that something is our perception. So if this thing would continue, and it seems it is going to continue for maybe another, I don't know, 1 year or 6 months down the line, it is very important that the curriculum needs to be redesigned so that students get more engaged. The curriculum has to be redesigned in such a way that, you know, it is influencing the student assessment also. So that level of redesigning has to be done at the topmost level. Maybe, you know, at the school level, if I'm talking about, maybe it is coming from CBSC, and at the college or the institutions level coming from AICT, UGC, something like that. So that is something which is going to decide how the student engagement is going to happen in the future.
Okay, right. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. So now Ms. Pooja has sent a PPT to Parul ma'am. So she would be sharing the screen, and Ms. Pooja, you can continue.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let me know whether the screen is visible or not.
Yes, ma'am, but please put it on slide share.
Yeah. Is it on slideshow?
Yes, ma'am. Pooja ma'am, are we ready?
Ready, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Please start now.
Very good afternoon to all the panelists and the participants. I'm heartily thankful to Delhi Metropolitan Education Noida for giving me such an opportunity to present my paper on COVID-19 and remote working for MSMEs, micro, small and medium enterprises, needs, difficulties and opportunities. I'm Pooja Rani, research scholar from Lovely Professional University, presenting over here the topic of my presentation topic is COVID-19 and remote working for MSMEs. Next slide. The table of content includes introduction, review of literature, objectives, research methodology, need of remote working for MSMEs, challenges faced by micro, small and medium enterprises in adopting remote working concept, challenges faced by MSMEs during digitalization process, contribution of government and small and mid-sized business in digitalization of MSMEs, government initiatives to improve digitalization, and what are the opportunities in adopting remote working concept for MSMEs, conclusion and references. Now, the next slide is related to the introduction concept. Micro, small and medium enterprises are particularly vulnerable to the economic impact of COVID-19 pandemic, because micro, small and medium enterprises are facing various problems such as decrease in demand, shortage of raw material, no proper access to market, and decrease in exports because COVID-19 crisis is pushing more consumer online and accelerating the adoption of e-commerce. Because in front of micro, small and medium enterprises, there are two basic concepts. First is the safety of the employees, and second one is the continuation of the business. And remote working does not mean flexible or comfortable style of working, but it means to perform the work beyond the traditional and the organizational environment. Next, please. If small and medium enterprises will be able to adopt the digitalization mode, that in near future they can give the contribution in Indian gross domestic product from $159 billion to 216 billion, Kisco report said. Ma'am, next. There are some review of literature I considered while preparing my paper, and the whole paper told about the importance of remote working or work from home for MSMEs during this COVID-19 pandemic. Next, ma'am. These are the papers which the researcher considered. Next, ma'am. Next. Now, what are the objective of this research paper? Number one, to study the need of remote working and digitalization for MSMEs, to study the challenges faced by MSMEs in adopting remote working, and third one is to know the remedial measures for overcoming the challenges. After considering these objectives, the research methodology was based on secondary data. The researcher used secondary sources for collecting information. These sources are journals, research papers, research articles, websites, and government policies. So the researcher used these secondary sources to collect the relevant information for this research paper. Now, next. Why there is the requirement or need of remote working for MSMEs for helpful, because it is helpful in maintaining the better level and standard of productivity, helpful in creating the same feeling of performing work at home just as working in regular office environment, to save from disease and to provide the benefits to the businesses, employees, and the whole country. And the next one is to save the expenses of arranging furniture and fixtures and rent related concept. And the next is helpful in maintaining the employees very busy and happy. So these are the need of remote working for MSMEs. The next slide is related to challenges faced by MSMEs in adopting remote working concept. First one is they are facing the challenge relating to the communication with low bandwidth, lengthy and useless meetings. Sometimes both parties facing the difficulties of low range of internet, and sometimes the meeting goes on means and useless meeting, less share of informal communication. And the next one is difficulty in managing time. Employees cannot stop working because they have to continue their work. Teamwork seems ignored because they perform their work at home at in the one room, and connectivity problem is there. And the next is no direct visibility on worker and the employees. Now, there are some challenges faced by the MSMEs during digitalization process. These challenges are problem related to cybersecurity and information secrecy, because all the information are now available on internet, and secrecy is doubtful in this case. Second one is digital fraud is also there in adopting digitalization process. And the third one is misuse of the power of online platform. Dominance on market, because large scale marketers invest huge amount in advertising there as comparative to small enterprises. Lack of digital education among MSMEs, because they not aware about the usage of digitalization method. And the next one is contribution of government and small and medium-sized businesses in digitalization of MSMEs. The first one is for Big Tech program. Zoho made the collaboration with NASCOM Foundation, under which software company of Chennai is now working with non-profit businesses through digitalization. Second is IBM India also provided their contribution in automation and digitalization revolution of the working process of small scale businesses. Now the third one is financial software and system companies paid their contribution in making MSMEs more self-dependent on digitalization. they launched Embark, a payment acceptance tool. Privan also provides various services such as physical distribution of electronically payment system and product catalog to small-scale businesses, and they are providing knowledge about the benefits of e-commerce during this pandemic and make them self-reliant. Small businesses such as fashion and agro sectors has benefited from the contribution of Bubble Network Bengaluru. So these are the contribution of government along with small and mid-sized businesses in adopting the digitalization process. Now the government initiatives to improve digitalization, they should provide fulfillment of hardware and software requirement.
Have we lost the connection with Pooja? Pooja ma'am, are you there?
She is on mute.
Pooja ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Actually, she has joined back. She is joining through 2 accounts.
Okay.
I think through laptop and through phone.
Pooja ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Please unmute yourself, Pooja.
Please. Yes, I'm unmute. I'm unmute, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yes, government initiatives to improve digitalization among micro, small, and medium enterprises. Ma'am, next slide, please. What are the opportunities when MSMEs are ready to adopt remote working or work from home? Because the remote working pattern can maintain the balance between working life of workers and employees. The second opportunity is owners and the managers can retain their employees and can attract the talented manpower. The third one is it will helpful in minimizing the expenses and
Is she audible or it's just me?
No, she's not audible.
Is I think she's not there also. Is she?
She's there.
Hello, ma'am. I am here. These are the opportunities.
Ma'am, you were not audible.
Next slide is related to these. Am I audible?
Ma'am, it's vibrating actually for you. I think there is a network.
Ma'am, next slide conclusion. The next slide is related to the conclusion after opportunities. The conclusion, by maintaining protection effort against coronavirus and social distancing, the working activities
Pooja ma'am, are you there?
Ma'am, I think an internet problem is there. MSMEs have the shortage of fund, lack of infrastructure, lack of managerial and trained staff, less confidence about talking worst situation. In adopting digitalization, more funds are required. So Government of India should provide sufficient financial services for further development. And training programs and trainers should be provided to MSMEs, and MSMEs will be able to fight against coronavirus after getting the financial support by government, private sectors, and technology companies. And after conclusion, these are the references which I considered while preparing.
That done, ma'am. Should I stop sharing, Pooja ma'am? I think I should stop sharing now.
Yes, ma'am. Pooja ma'am, are you there? Session chairs, can we go ahead with the Q&A for Pooja ma'am?
Yeah, thank you so much. Pooja ma'am has lots of technical errors in STC completed. So congratulations.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yes, SME faces many challenges. Likewise, you also faces many challenges during this presentation time. So really, I think you have done a hard work.
Yes,
so, what do you observe like during your research? Like, what's the readiness of SMEs on the process of digitizations? Like, are they ready to go with the system? Like, how about the cost involvement on this digitization process? So do they feel comfortable during this kind of process initiated by the government?
Sir, digitalization has become mandatory at present because social distancing is very much required to control the COVID-19 situation.
Pooja ma'am, if you could write your answer in the chat box, I think that will do. Is that okay with the session?
I'm a bit far from the country, that's why I'm not listening properly.
No, sir, there was a network issue.
Sort of network issue, I guess.
Yes.
Probably we can just omit the Q&A because presentation also we have not been able to see properly. So should we continue to the next presentation instead? Because I think she has again got disconnected. She is not visible, is she?
No, ma'am.
Backstage.
Sir, should we move ahead with your permission?
Acharya, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I would request Dr. Sarita to start her presentation.
Oh, I think we have to give marks to the Q&A.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Please.
Can I give answer?
Sure, ma'am, sure.
Hanji, sir. Sir, digitalization has become very much mandatory because social distancing has become mandatory among people, and MSMEs required financial fund for further improvement because digitalization is not a simple aspect for their adoption because MSMEs have the lack of funds and they have no proper knowledge about the usage of digital mode and how to use hardware devices and software devices. So government and the technological companies should come ahead and they should provide financial assistance and the training to MSMEs for further improvement because by adopting digitalization because they can enhance their market area, they can sell.
So we shouldn't give more trouble to her anymore.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, once again.
Moving on to Dr. Sarita.
Ma'am, regarding Dr. Sarita, I've mentioned it in the judgment sheet, if you can see.
Okay, I didn't see it right now. So then...
Yeah, please continue, ma'am.
So is it the other participant who's presenting or we are taking this paper in a
No, ma'am, Dr. Sarita actually, she got infected with COVID. So I spoke to her in the morning only. She said she's at the hospital and she had no time to prepare the presentation also, which she could send us and we could have, got it presented by our students. So no presentation from her end would be there.
So then we move on to the next, that is the last participant, that's our own HOD ma'am, Dr. Purva, but Simran, the student, is presenting on our behalf.
Hi.
So, hello?
Nima ma'am, can I interrupt for a while?
Yeah, ma'am.
I think we'll just need to clarify for Acharya sir also that how do we go for the marking of this presentation? We mark it in absentia only in that case?
Yes, ma'am, for absentia, we are not marking it for the evaluation purposes.
Ma'am, actually, the basic reason of giving the marks is to select the best paper. And of course, no matter how good the paper would have been, it cannot qualify for that if presentations have not happened. If that is my understanding, if I'm correct or not, you can tell me.
I think that's absolutely fine. Just clarify in the forum so that we can know this, because the presentation has not been there, so we'll not be marking this paper. Is that okay, Acharya sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, sir.
So Simran, you can start with the presentation.
Ma'am, there is no participant with this name here in the meeting.
So I think no marking here, yes?
No, sir, no marking for this.
There has to be Samriddhi, I guess.
Okay. Simran was written.
Because the
Is it Samriddhi? Let me just correct it there.
Samriddhi is also not there.
Neither Samriddhi.
Samriddhi, it's Samriddhi only, ma'am. I've written Samriddhi.
Samriddhi, are you there?
No, ma'am, there is no one by this name here.
Parul ma'am, is she joining, Samriddhi?
I think this is the collective.
Ma'am, she is not joining actually. I had a word with Purva ma'am, so I think they had a confusion that the presentation is scheduled for the marketing track, so she has not joined.
Okay.
She's not joined.
In that case, I would request the session chairs to please finalize the marks before Parul ma'am downloads it and freezes the thing. Acharya sir, if you could please mark the sheet given to you.
Yeah, already updated. So anything to do?
No, thank you so much, sir. Dr. Swati, may I request you to please update it?
So shall I close or?
Sir, please wait. Ma'am, you are on mute.
Sorry, I just missed for a moment. Is Samriddhi there? So are we continuing with the next presentation?
No, ma'am. I would request you to please update the evaluation sheet.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, I think our Zoom management team has put the feedback form, the attendance form. I would request all the participants to please update the same. While ma'am is updating the scores, can I request my Zoom management team to have some glimpses to the audience of the conference? Pooja ma'am, Pooja's better.
Just sharing, ma'am, just sharing.
Okay. Swati ma'am, once you're done, please let us know.
Ma'am, we are already done. Actually, Acharya sir and myself, we have simultaneously given the marks after the presentations. So
okay.
From the sheet is done. Acharya sir, anything from your side to be changed or something?
Sorry, ma'am.
Anything from your side to be changed or something? Because you have already also marked simultaneously after each presentation.
Yeah, I already did it, yes.
Yeah.
So ma'am, shall I download the sheet?
I'm quite generous.
Yes, you can download the sheet. We have simultaneously done it. So this is done from our side, from both of us.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
So this session chairs do not have any further rights to edit the sheet. And I'm downloading the sheet now.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Now I would request Acharya sir to briefly please give the synopsis of today's paper presentations.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sima ma'am. I think indeed today is great for me. I think all the presenters sound good except of technological hindrance. Other than that, I think extremely wonderful. I really appreciate all their efforts for this presentation. I think I also learned many things from their kind of expertise. Thank you so much once again for availing me for this session here. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Swati, if I could request you to, ma'am, if you could just sum it up for us.
Yeah, these were wonderful presentations. The presenters have actually worked very hard. One of the presentations, can I just view the sheet currently? I'll just...
Yeah, ma'am, you can view it, but you can't edit it.
I'm just viewing it. So a special mention of the paper that has been presented by Ms. Ruchi Malik and her co-presenter. It was a very good presentation wherein they highlighted the challenges that are faced by academicians in the remote working practices. And obviously all the papers were very good. And then the paper of Mr. Ayush Dubey also was very good, Ms. Shanu and Ayush Dubey. That was also very good, where they were trying to focus upon or understand the impact of remote working on entrepreneurship, innovation, and startups. The first paper also was excellent. With Pooja Rani's paper, I'll say it was a good paper, but because of the technical glitches, probably we could not, have the complete glimpse or proper understanding of the paper because it was happening. But then there have been wonderful efforts, and Acharya said it has been a wonderful experience to listen to you. As you very rightly said, that in every dark cloud there truly is a silver lining. And digitalization has been forced on us, but then we have become tech savvy and we have very quickly adapted to this thing in the COVID era, which was otherwise prevalent in the environment for a very long time as far as the business arena was concerned, but we were not adapting it and we are not taking the changes all that easily, or we're not accepting it. So with this COVID era, this digitalization has happened, and it has made us tech savvy also, and it obviously will be the new normal in the coming times, because howsoever we may be continuing with the offline mode, but the online mode has evolved. And this conference itself is an outcome of this, that sitting at various locations, at different locations. I think, Parul ma'am, we have people from approximately 8 countries in this conference who have participated remotely. So probably this kind of conference would not have been possible had this been into the offline mode, because so many people commuting from so many places would not have been possible, which has become possible because of the online mode. So yes, digitalization has obviously, it has happened to us because of COVID, and there have been changes into the overall strategic scenario globally. So that way, very rightly emphasize that though we are going through a very tough time, but then there is a lot that we have learned and we have evolved during this process. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, team.
As it is said, ma'am, necessity is the mother of invention. So we had to do that. Anyhow, proposing a vote of thanks. Firstly, I would heartily thank the distinguished chairperson, Mr. Acharya. Thank you, sir. And I'm sure the students are really enlightened with your knowledge for gracing the session. I would also express my gratitude to our VC sir, Shri Aman Sani, Director sir, Shri Ravikant Swami sir, and HOD ma'am, Dr. Purva Ranjan ma'am, for their moral support and constant guidance. I mentioned my deepest sense of appreciation for our convener and co-convener and the Zoom management team and all the participants. Most importantly, the wonderful audience who actively participated and made the session a success. Thank you so much once again. And I would just request everybody to please fill the form given in the chat box for the attendance and the feedback. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. I think Acharya sir and myself, we can leave now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, Acharya sir.
Thank you so much.
Great having you.
Very excited to meet you once again.
Yes, sir.
Let's pray for that. So
Thank
have
you
Yes.
so much,
stay
sir.
safe.
Thank you so much for joining the session. Thank you so much, Swati ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
time.
sir.